Hello, I'm David Knox. I've been in the real estate business for 40 years. And over the last 30 years, I've presented 3,500 seminars in 11 countries. And our training materials include interviews and on-location filming that features top agents around the country. Today, I am pleased to be with Rob Levy from Portland, Oregon. And he's been one of the top Portland Realtors since 1988. So Rob, thank you so much for joining me today.
David, thanks so much for having me.
Well, the purpose of this interview is to help your buyers and sellers understand what it is you do for them. And, a question that homeowners are going to have, and I would certainly have, was, why should I list my home with you and your team?
David, that's a great question. I get asked that all the time.
Yep.
And the reality is, in this business, you can hire a realtor that got their license yesterday, or you can get somebody like me that's been doing this since 1988 and has a team. As a matter of fact, I was adding it up the other day, and the combined experience on my team is actually over 70 years.
Okay.
It's your choice. Who would you really want selling your house?
Mm-hmm. Maybe tell me, what are the benefits to a consumer of experience?
Well, the benefits to a consumer of experience are basically, there's not much that I haven't seen. I've been through a couple of recessions. I've seen all sorts of terrible home inspections, lender problems, so on and so forth, and issues with houses. And really, having seen these issues and overcome these issues before, I can help you as the home seller, or if you're buying a house, see what's coming up and point out the issues that we need to be concerned about, whether buying or selling a house. Real estate's gotten really complicated, David. When you mentioned in your 40 years ago you started doing it. Remember back then we did it on a one-page form. Now we're at 28 pages.
Yeah.
It's just a whole lot more complicated. It takes longer to close. There's so many moving parts that most of the buying and selling public don't realize how many people are involved in a real estate transaction. And I've got long-standing relationships with all of these people. So I know what to expect so we can make the whole transaction smoother.
Yeah, that's a great benefit to have. The other thing you mentioned was team. Describe how that helps.
Well, so it's interesting. If I'm sitting here with you right now and we're talking about selling your house, but I have another appointment in an hour and maybe I'm showing some houses tomorrow to somebody that's coming into town, how does that help you? I'm not working promoting your property. So in my particular team, I have a person dedicated to doing nothing but showing houses, and she's been doing that for 17 years. And I have a person that does nothing but the paperwork. We just talked about the massive amount of paperwork in this business now. And I have a team manager just kind of keeping us all organized. That allows me to focus on getting houses on the market, marketing the houses, negotiating contracts. So most of what I do is figuring out ways to help sell your house for the most amount of money in the shortest period of time.
Good for you. And tell me again, describe the players on your team and what each of them do.
I actually have a full-time person that does nothing but shows houses all day long.
Okay.
And I have a lady who works doing nothing but keeping the paperwork in order, both on sales and listing side. And I have actually my daughter-in-law who's now working with me with the goal to take over the team one day. And what she does is kind of follows me and does everything that I do and manages the whole team all at the same time.
Okay. And how do you interact with your clients, where they first of all meet you perhaps in a listing presentation, but they may be interacting with the team? So how is that transition handled?
On the seller side, they'll interact with me initially. I'm a techie guy, so I like playing with the toys and getting things going. And to me, it's always a challenge to see how we can sell a house and what kind of results we're getting from our marketing and so on. So there's a lot of interaction with me.
Yep.
But once the house becomes sale pending, that's not my department. We have a transaction coordinator, and her job all day, and she's been with me for many, many years, is just making sure that all of the proper pieces of paperwork are signed in the right place and the right time. And for that, you want an expert such as her.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's important so everybody has their expertise in the different areas, and then you can focus on what you're good at.
Exactly.
Speaking of what you're good at, you are kind of known as the techie guy, and you've had some experience in software development, and I think it applies to today's industry. So tell us about that.
Well, it's interesting because about 15 years ago, I co-developed and co-owned a award-winning real estate software company that basically organized the sales process of real estate. What I really learned from that is how to really make transactions go smoothly, because there's many pieces of this. For instance, a lot of real estate agents waste time with just looky-loos, people that are just looking around, but they're nowhere near ready to buy something yet. So if we're trying to find buyers for your home, this software allows us to focus on the buyers that are ready, willing, and able to buy your house now, because those are the ones we want to work with to buy your home. And as a result of that, I actually have a list of over 31,000 people last time I checked that are in my client database. So if we put your house on the market, we're pre-marketing your house to all of those people all at the same time with one click.
Well, that's powerful. In today's real estate economy and business is so technical that you've got to be with somebody that understands the technology and how to use it.
Especially in Portland, Oregon, a very, very tech-savvy city. We're the #1 city in the country that the 25 to 35-year-old age group are moving to, and they're all They're all techie nerds, basically. So they expect us to communicate in that way by texting and doing marketing on YouTube and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, and we do all that.
One of the things that I know about you is that you were one of the first e-certified agents in the country. Explain what that was.
Sure, David. That was back with my prior company when, back in the early days of technology, they had to set a standard for agents that could meet that standard to prove they could do business electronically. And I was actually the first person in the world to do that. And what that really means to the consumer is that I'm a nerd with a real estate license. I have fun with what I do. I play with different toys, and all of that is to help sell houses quicker and faster and help buyers find houses faster. So the stuff I've learned makes the business easier for the consumer. And really, when it comes down to it, we're not really in the real estate business. One of the things I've learned over the years, and I think you'd agree, is that we're in the people business.
Yes.
And for me, it's important to connect with people because this is a relationship. It's not like I'm going to meet you today and close your house tomorrow. This takes a long time. In the recession, it took many, many, many months. Right now, it's a little bit quicker. For me and my personal history, I grew up in Europe, and I moved to several different countries, and I went to 24 different schools in 12 years. So I've kind of learned, so when we've got somebody coming in that's really nervous about coming into Portland doing a relocation, I can connect with them. It helps to understand different cultures. We have people that come from all over the place, and I can apply that to my real estate business.
Well, that's a good point because I think there's a quote that says, people buy people before they buy product. And that's an important way to connect.
Yeah. As successful that I've been as a real estate agent, the one number thing that was important to me was my wife and my 3 boys. And it really emphasizes the importance of family, and of course that's the business that we're in. We work with families selling homes, and that's something that I never forget, and that's why I love what I do.
Anything you'd like to add in conclusion today?
I would, David. We talked about technology and using that. In some ways that kind of impersonalizes things, and yet the majority of our business on our team comes from referrals from past clients or past clients buying or selling again. And at my age group, we're also dealing with a lot of people where I've been selling houses for so long that now I'm selling houses where people are downsizing or their parents are passing on or going to assisted living.
Sure.
That's a whole new realm, and that's a very personal part of the business. And the fact that these people would put their names on the line to say, hey, talk to the Rob Levy team in Portland, I think says a lot about what we do.
I think the best endorsement of the competence of a real estate agent is the willingness for somebody to not only use you again, but refer them to their friends. So I think that's a great testament to the quality and integrity you bring to the business. So, Rob, thank you very much for being part of this interview.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for watching.